Hi, welcome to Adornment with Adrienne. Hi, today let's chat Downton Abbey. I have my high tea set up with my grandmother's china. And what do we want to talk about? We want to talk about Granny. Granny? What did you do, Granny? What did you do? If you're ready to talk Downton Abbey, a new era, join me. Welcome to Adornment with Adrienne. Hi Adorners, welcome back to Adornment with Adrienne. I hope you have a cup of tea and you're ready to chat Downton Abbey. Let me say, if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, you may want to come back and watch this, but actually just let the video play. I could use the time. Anyway, let's get started. Again, welcome to Adornment with Adrienne. Now that we have all of our formalities out of the way, we have our tea, we have our grandmother's china. It's time to talk Downton Abbey, a new era. All right, so I don't want to keep you a long time, so we're going to talk. I have some talking points that I want to go over, and we're just going to talk about it. Years ago, my sister called me and she said, "Sister, you have got to start watching this show with me." And I was like, "What?" She said, "I watch stuff with you. You have to start watching with me." So I was like, "Well, what is it called?" She said, "It's called Downton Abbey." And this was probably in 2010. I want to say 2010, 2011, when it was airing originally for us in the U.S. on PBS. So I said, we're BBC girls. Apparently we're 20% or more Scottish, Irish, English. So I was like, we love the BBC. So I said, okay, sister, I will start watching it with you. So I started watching it and we loved it. So that being said, do we see our new movie, Downton Abbey, a new era? So many things to talk about. So of course, we want to talk about Granny. We got to get to Granny. I have to say Maggie Smith is probably my favorite character. I love all those English girls, Judi Dench, Helen Mirren, and I put Maggie Smith in there with them. They're my girls. I love them. Anyway, so let's start off with Tom. The movie opens, we see a wedding. We're like, what in the world is going on? And who is it? Is Tom. Tom is getting married again. Okay, so but we want Tom to be happy, but we love Sybil. Okay, we can't let Sybil go. We love Sybil. Not trying to give a peep show here. We love Sybil so much. All right, and so, but we want Tom to be happy again. So he marries Lucy. Everything's seems so wonderful with her. And, you know, she has the stepdaughter, and you keep thinking, when is the other shoe going to drop? But it never does. And she really is so sincere in loving his daughter. All right, so that's Tom married again. All right, again, I should say this. If you haven't seen this movie, you might. I'm going to put this ahead of the video. But if you haven't seen it, there are spoilers. Okay, let's be clear. All right, this is just a chatting comments about what you think about it. Anyway, so let's continue. All right. So the next thing is, of course, Granny. Oh my gosh, Maggie Smith. So the movie opens. There's this villa that apparently has been bequeathed to Granny. And we're like, what in the world is going on? And so it's in the south of France. And this is not just a house. This is a beautiful villa on the water. It's overlooking the coast of the south of France. It's just at solariums, all of that, and it's left to Granny. And so Granny, of course, she doesn't want to go to France. And so everyone is kind of trying to figure out. Granny spent a week with this gentleman that left her the house and the villa. And we want to know, what did Granny do? Like, was she dropping it like it's hot? What did you do, Granny? I mean, I've had men buy me a house. Yes, I have. I had a villa for a week. Honey, she need to give classes, right? That's our second talking point. Let's continue. Hollywood comes to Downton Abbey. What? All right, so I'm going to put two of my talking points together. One is the roof is jacked up in Downton Abbey. Hollywood is coming to Downton Abbey. So we see everyone at dinner, and Hollywood, who has, at this time, they're not talkies. They're silent movies still. And so we see Hollywood about to come to Downton, and of course everyone is like, okay, no, we can't have these people running around our home. This is our Abbey. No. And so what is Granny says to Mary, I think you should show your father the attic. And so they go up to the attic, baby. The roof is jacked up. There are raindrops keep falling on my head, right? Rain is coming all down, water's pouring all through the roof, and I guess Papa, who does not make, not to be no shade on Papa, he does not make the best financial decisions. We know this from the series. No shade on him. Cora, the one that had the money. All right, she was American, but she had the money. So, of course, what happens? Downton is taken over by Hollywood. All right, so then what happens? Also, there's another underlying plot. It's Mama. Cora, is she sick? Oh my gosh, we're not sure what's happening. She looks so thin, baby. She looks thin as a rail. And you're like, is she sick? What's going on? All right, and then the next thing is reality versus image. Okay, so when Hollywood comes to Downton, we see Daisy and Andy. They are just enamored by the Hollywood stars, and they are so excited. Of course, Miss Patmore's like, I don't care. Nobody don't care about these Hollywood stars. But Daisy and Andy, they're so excited to have all of these Hollywood stars and starlets come to Downton. And what happens, the reality versus the image of who these people are, is, I would have to say, is so disappointing, because we know that celebrities are real people, but the way they treated the staff, it was just, this is not something they were used to. And of course they had to pull their coattails on it. Like, who do you think you are talking to? We are staff, but we are people. You don't talk to our staff like this. Anyway, let's continue. In the movie, we see Mary, and we don't see her husband. We're like, where's her husband? Lady Mary, is she single or what? But all of it comes to a head. Why? Because here comes Jack Barber. Okay, Jack Barber with his gorgeous self, honey, comes to the Downton piece like a director. And actually, Mary is actually really feeling him. But then she had to pull back and say, you know what? I am a married girl. I can't be out here in these streets. But she can look. She can look in the window, but she not going to buy nothing. Okay, unfortunately for us. Anyway, so Jack comes to Downton. And who is along with him? We have all the starlets and stuff, but Myrna. Daisy is so disappointed by Myrna, and so is Andy. Like, her behavior is so terrible. But the underlying factor with her is that she's totally insecure, and we see that all come to the light when talkies are becoming more and more popular. Everything she does is silent, but when she starts talking, it's like this. It's like some character. Okay, anyway, so Thomas, okay, another thing we want to talk about. Thomas finally finds happiness. There's this beautiful movie star. His name is very handsome, I should say. His name is Guy Dexter. What a beautiful voice. We love Guy. American. He comes and he takes an affinity for Thomas, and Thomas, who apparently is the love child of Lord Grantham and Miss O'Brien. Is that true? If you know, put it in the comments. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But Guy Dexter, who seems to be kind and courteous and caring of Thomas, comes and he wants him to be his sort of like a valet, but it's really a lover. And for Thomas, who has been through so much, we watched Thomas almost try to commit suicide, and he was so mean and so many things. For him to come full circle and find love, it really, I can't say, I don't know anyone that it didn't make happy. Anyway, so let's continue. All right, for our next one, we have Mr. Carson's clothes. I cannot not talk about Mr. Carson's clothes. Mr. Carson, of course, is going to the south of France, and he is like, I'm an English gentleman. I'm not going to not have my clothes. And baby, he is about to burn up. We see him going to a milliner to get a hat, and then what do we see? We have the ladies come, and it's of course someone to the rescue to buy him a hat. But Carson, we love him. We've always loved him. He's so stern, and everything has got to be a certain way. But he really, him and his clothes, I think that was almost like a whole storyline for me. I really love seeing it. All right, let's continue. Edith's growth. Edith, who was the vein of. When this series started, Edith and I, we were not friends. Edith was getting on my nerves. It was always dredge and trial and so many things with Edith. But to see her come a full circle as well and be happy, I really have to say, I was so pleased at how they wrapped up so many people with happiness. All right, and leaving a legacy. Of course, Downton, Granny, of course, she wants to leave a legacy, and she's leaving it to Sibby, and I'm so happy. I mean, what can we say? And I think that's what really is important in life, but really love is most important. Anyway, so let's finish Granny's last scene. I have to say, as I said, Maggie Smith is my favorite character on this show. Her quips alone are worth the price of admission for this movie. But then we have Danker. Okay, you all know Danker. She done got on everybody's nerves for years and years. And then she trying to steal Granny's last scene. Are you kidding? Granny is about to die. She has the family around. Everyone is crying. Mary is just really, she and Granny are gotten very close. And here's Danker trying to take the last scene. But of course, Granny's like, hey, this is my scene. I'm dying. You're not going to take my dying scene. And of course, she pulls her together real quick. And of course, we see Granny pass. And I have to say, I felt like she lived a full life. And I couldn't figure out if I wanted to cry or if I was happy, because I felt like she really lived the life that she wanted to live, especially for a woman at that time, because we know women couldn't own anything. They really couldn't be, but she was in control of her life. And I think I really loved her character so very, very much. Violet, loved her. Of course, we don't want to forget how the staff was invited to be a part of the movies. Mary was a part of the movies. The staff became a part of the movies. It was just really, really lovely, and they were so excited. It was like they were taking selfies back in the day. They were so excited to be a part of it, and it was so cute to see. I don't want to forget and leave that out. All right, I don't want to forget Mosley becoming basically a screenwriter. It was so wonderful. He kind of stumbled in a scene, and we see him, but he becomes a part of the Hollywood crew, and he becomes really a writer, and it is beautiful to see. Mosley, who always had dreams of more, and to see him to be able to fulfill those dreams was really, really great. All right, and so anyway, so that's my wrap up of Downton Abbey. I hope you enjoyed it. Please join me again with Adornment with Adrienne. I'm Adrienne, your auntie, your girlfriend of lifestyle and decor. And yes, I love this movie. I love the way everyone ended it. It ended with everyone in a happiness. Of course, my mom, Cora, was not sick. And we see that they are so adaptable to change, which you would never think, but they really tried, and I loved it so much. And I don't want to forget this, but Myrna, she also changed, and it was beautiful to see, because she realized that she was a girl like Daisy, and who Daisy idolized her, but Daisy put her together. She was like, look, you could be like my sister. What is you doing? You acting ugly like this. You need to pull it together. Anyway, so as always, like I said, thank you for joining me with Adrienne. I'm Adrienne. I'm your girlfriend or your auntie of lifestyle and decor, and it has been my pleasure. If you haven't seen the movie, I hope I didn't tell you too much, but I think I did. But anyway, as I said, if you know somebody who know how to get a house down to the south of France, let me know, girl. Okay? All right. Saving hello for another time.
A big shout out to Julian Fellows and the entire cast of Downton Abbey. Please join me in the next video where I make those egg salad sandwiches. Thanks for watching. Saving hello for another time.